6 p.m. I'll
Sorry,
repeat that.
Keith, I was slow on the uptake.
This is Keith Lobby, Chair. I'm calling the meeting to order, the Libertarian Party of Colorado, a special board meeting for Thursday, August 13th. It is 6 p.m. I call the meeting to order. Secretary, may we take a roll call, please?
Yep. Chair Keith,
Present.
right? Vice Chair Doug Jones,
Present.
I'm here. Allison Spink. Joe,
I don't know if you just called my name or not because I'm gonna. Joe Johnson is here. If you just called me,
okay, I did. Sean wasn't going to be able to make it. Betty Rose, did she send a proxy?
she was sending Jacob. I believe he got that message.
Okay, John Jersman,
I'm here.
Ross Metler.
Now I know Ross has an event tonight, and that's why Jacob's like, I'll try to be on for a vote and then hop off and go to that event. So I sent him a message asking if Ross was sending a proxy, and I have not heard back.
Okay, Jeff.
He's here.
Okay,
Jeff, can you not unmute? I guess that's a dumb question.
I don't even know if he could hear us. He said he couldn't hear us.
Can you hear me?
There, yes.
Yeah, there he is.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, so we have, is that 6? Keith, Doug, myself, Joe, John, Jeff. Okay, so we have a quorum.
6 out of 10. Excellent. So the item on the agenda tonight is to approve support for the Mulder gubernatorial campaign. Do we have a motion someone would like to make on this subject?
So yeah, real quick, my apologies. I thought that I sent a message to the Mulder campaign letting them know that the meeting was moved from yesterday to today, only to go into my phone minutes ago to discover the thing never actually went to them. So I'm trying to figure out how to get them to come and speak to what it is they're doing, because I'm sure we all have questions as to how this will play out if we
I'm
decide.
here, Joe.
Oh, you are here. Good. Okay. Never mind then.
I've been here since 9 o'clock last night.
Sorry,
Smart
Matt.
name.
I'm looking at my phone and discover it never actually went. I apologize.
You
No
knew we'd
worries.
show up sooner or later.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to do. I had a sandwich, you know.
Who just joined us? Would you announce your name?
Matt, someone else?
Well, I think it's you, Matt. Is
Oh,
it,
yeah,
this
Matt DiGianardo. Yeah, I thought you said someone just joined. I thought someone else just hopped in. I've been in for a few minutes.
No. Okay, so we have someone from the campaign here. Okay, excellent. So, well, we got your information that Robin sent to us. We have some basic information about what your campaign's doing. And so I guess as the board, how do you want to start off? You want to start off with a motion of something, or do you want to have just general discussion?
So I'd like to start out with a question of the Mulder campaign. As I'm reading this, and I'm looking at from my perspective, we have an opportunity to do some marketing in the select area of the San Luis Valley. And from the LPCO perspective, we can use this as a test case for this election to see if this is a way to grow the party. And since they're doing this thing anyway, I'd be interested in looking at the opportunity of pairing up for that aspect of this. I think the going for the 15% whatever is on the campaign, but for us doing marketing to try to grow LPCO as a parallel thing. So the first question that I have for Matt is what if you could peel off that portion of this? So the money to be spent for doing the marketing, what's the total of just that chunk?
Just that chunk. Bear with me. Let me get my file up here real quick, Joe. Sorry. I was just working on putting together some data for you on the county as well here. Mulder and the LPCO debate plan. Okay. So we're looking at, let's see here. So if we take out The polling itself, and this was just my estimate, and I mean there's ways to get it done. Talk to Ken Molman, got to refine it. But it's $5,000 alone would be for the polling. So 7,000, around $7,000 of what I'm looking at here would be promoting this campaign, marketing this campaign throughout the San Luis Valley. And in trying to see what might happen as well with some data for you guys, I think that's what's valuable with this investment is it's not necessarily an investment into the campaign. What you're really investing in here is some data for the party and what happens if you try to go down there and run a real campaign. And what's funny is since you've had Donald Vermillion running down there, you're kind of getting doubled up on that. So it'll be pretty interesting to see your returns.
But
And
yeah, I guess I'm going to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I don't know anything Donald's doing in that area. I haven't heard anything that he's doing anything in the San Luis Valley.
If you would like, we can absolutely talk about that on another call, and I'll tell you what I've been doing to work on what he's been doing. But he has been doing some marketing, been getting out there. He's going to have a ticket at Chili Fest. So those are just some of the things like I could tell you off the cuff. But I would certainly love to talk to you guys on another forum or another call about what we're trying to work with his as well.
Okay, so I have some general questions here. I'm trying to keep this meeting short because everybody's got things going on.
Is this Keith talking? I'm sorry, I can't.
I should announce myself. This is Keith. So what has Eric Mulder? I guess who is that Mulder campaign talked to in the San? How many people have you talked to in the San Luis Valley?
We have nothing yet. We have nothing yet, Keith. This is all full force forward after we got that email from 9 News.
Yeah. So here's my thing.
Sure.
Nominated in April. It's been 4 months. There's been no statewide candidate that has crossed the Continental Divide that I know of. We've had some Western Slope activities, and you're looking at San Luis Valley made up of farmers. You had no boots on the ground yet to know what do these people want? What are they looking for? What are the issues for the San Luis Valley? You haven't talked to people on the ground. And that's very important.
There's a very specific issue, Keith, and that it applies directly with our campaign. And as you guys should well know, part of what you're trying to do when you're messaging a campaign is you're identifying policy areas and you're trying to attach an anecdote to them that will resonate with the people and saying this is something it's something tangible. And so, long story short, what we're running on is in 2007 to 2008, there was a study done to determine where the best renewable energy places would be in Colorado and for what specific types, wind, solar, blah, blah, blah. San Luis Valley determined as a solar hotbed, and it is. Look at the science. It's fantastic. But it was all, and they did a few projects to try to improve transmission and such, but there was all this huge project that they were trying to run that would tie all of this in to align to get it to the Comanche station, which gets it into the full Colorado grid, right? And through missteps of the state government, federal government, and one very, very wealthy landowner, it was curbed. And then they tried doing it through Levita, more problems, it got curbed. So basically, you're looking at a place that can produce an exorbitant amount of solar power. There's actually a few good pockets for wind too. Geothermal, but I mean, you're kind of batting, from outside the box there potentially at this point. But it could be an energy powerhouse with producing way more than they could ever use. But they have to get tied into the grid.
What's that have to do with people wanting to vote Libertarian?
What's that?
What's this have to do with people wanting to join the Libertarian Party?
Because we are going to be running on this. The specific message, Keith, is going to be about government fulfilling their promises when they set people up like this. They say they're going to do this, that, you're set up for this, we're going to expand your economy. Something failed, they threw in the towel. We're running on the idea that this is a front of mind issue. There's going to be a write-up on our priorities page about it. And it's the simple idea that we will fulfill these promises. And libertarians might have an issue about that, but but if you're taking over a government, you're taking over there's prior promises too. And these people have been waiting for nearly a generation for this to happen. And we are going to be running on one of our priorities is finding a way, any way, to get this transmission project through for you so that you can see economic growth.
So here, this is Keith again. Here's some of my
Yeah.
issues, and I love that you're picking a rural area, whether it's San Luis Valley or Burlington or Craig or somewhere. I think that's a great strategy. My issue is we have nobody, no activists in the San Luis Valley that I know of. And to me, we should, if we're going to spend money, and as a board member,
Mhm.
I'm a steward of the funds. I mean, as I'm a voting member of the stewards of the funds of the party.
Yep.
And to invest in an area we don't have anybody really active in those communities where we can start a county party or grow, it's probably not strategically wise. It'd be better to work somewhere we have some people that want to start a party. And two, what you're doing has been done before. Um, and if in your write up, you said, well, Eric's, he works, which I understand, and San Luis
Mhm.
Valley is a few hours away, so he's not going to make a lot of personal appearances. And so I can tell you that if you run these ads, you're going to get 0.5% more than you do elsewhere in the state.
Fantastic.
Maybe 1% more. And that's what
Fantastic. Do you get more registered libertarians out of that?
a few. But that's
Okay.
historically that's what's happened when other states have done this. And so there's not really a learning curve for us because we know that's what you're going to get. But if he was down there in May and June doing festivals, and because people are going to want to see the candidate,
Sure.
and you just running ads, I think your strategy is good, but you got 2 months left in the campaign, and it's the end of
Yep.
the campaign season about.
Yep.
And so I really struggle spending any funds from the party which are already spoken for something that there's always for the bang for the buck, and I think we could get more bang for the buck doing other things. And I have nothing against you or Eric of your strategy.
Sure.
And how much have you raised to date so far for funds?
So that since that announcement, I know that we have about $900 in 72 hours, and our radio campaign is going to cost right about $1,000. So that's stage one.
So I mean, total to date, what have you raised?
That plus what Eric's put in, and some others. I
Okay.
got to tell you guys, and this is the thing. I got to be honest with you guys. If you wanted a candidate who could get running and get on the ground, you needed to nominate someone other than Eric.
Yeah, no, not I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not. I understand. I mean,
Like
our guy. So I'm just trying to think of where best we spend party funds. And I hope you do stuff in San Luis Valley. I just don't know. I have a hard time justifying spending
so,
as a board member.
can I give you some data, Keith, that I think is really interesting?
I think my mind's made up. I'm sorry, but maybe
Sure.
some other board
Sure.
members have comments.
I would love to give this to them because I've always thought that the big key is you've got to see what's working and you have to give people and try to speak to them on something that matters to them, such as this project and things of that nature.
And if I knew this in April, I would have been there knocking on doors
If I knew this
myself.
in April, I would have been doing the
Yeah.
same potentially, Keith. But I didn't know that GOP was going to nominate Victor Marks.
Well,
And here's the other thing I'll tell you guys that's important about what we're doing here too is if 9 News sent Eric another email, and some of the other candidates have got him in something in the same, and if no candidate other than Weiser and Marks are able to get to 15%, and Marks refuses to debate, 9 News is going to be doing a 1 hour long town hall with each candidate. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
I want to cut to the chase here. This has nothing to do about the 15%. This is about what Joe explained is this is about if we invest in this, is that going to help grow the party
Yes.
in the right location that we want it to? And the Nine News and stuff, that's going to go in circles because that's what happens. And we have no control of that. But I'm going to open up to other board members if they have questions for you. So any other board members, go ahead.
Do you
mind
I've got a question. So you had you mentioned a different number a minute ago about ads. So do you have this like tiered? What's the plan as far as
basically right now I got to think of what is the least expensive way to get going to build name recognition, and in the Valley that's going to be ads. Non-political rates, I'm still going to be able to run potentially over 100 ads for $1,000 based on choosing 30 or 60 seconds a blend. I still have to play with exactly how I want to do that. I'm dialing in this message, and I got to tell you, I think one of the reasons libertarians fail when they try these campaigns is their messaging isn't good. And I'm going to be a little cocky here. Mine is better. Okay. And so so with that tier, we're going to the radio first, okay? And then with this English radio, the next step after that is going to be able to get more and try to get on to Spanish radio, because there is a station out of Taos, New Mexico that actually covers the valley. Why is this important, you might ask? Are Hispanics like the largest growing demographic in the state in the United States? Yes. What percentage of Hispanics in the state of Colorado speak Spanish at the home? Around 10%. Some places of the valley, it's up to 40%. So the idea that we're doing here, and this is me being brutal, and this isn't me asking for money at this point in time. This is me just slipping in a little bit of consulting on this one. I love you guys, but it's important. But if you don't find a way to meaningfully approach Hispanic voters and give a rip at it and see if anything's functioning, toy around with it a bit. And they're not a monolith. It's going to be different in the valley than it is in Denver, the slope. But if you don't play around with it, you're never going to be able to play big ball, because this is a growing demographic and the valley encompasses a lot of them. Some of the counties over 50% Hispanic. Mineral is like 7%. It's a bizarre county. We could talk about that one another day. It's truly bizarre.
Well, I agree. We've dropped the
And
ball for 50 years as far as Spanish speakers.
yeah,
What's the
so
cost? What's the cost for doing those two things you just said? So you're going to start out with English, and then you're going to do another round on the Spanish radio.
yep.
What's the total for those two?
So right now I've got all the English radio. I've got the email out to the Spanish station in Taos. I got to wait back on their numbers, and they are privately held, so they have to air ads. So we're good on that. So I'll let you know about that one. There are streaming ads that we can do, but before we do streaming ads, and here's your strategy actually, Keith, and I'd like you to think about this one. These are important numbers. So if I can't raise the full, I think I have $5,300 as I would need for basically the every door mailer over the routes to cover the people. That's materials, USPS cost. And because of the cost of data, you're just going to go every door instead of deciding who everywhere. But this is what I would do if I was going to narrow it down for you, Keith. There's only one county in the San Luis Valley where libertarians carry, about statewide numbers, maybe a little bit better as a relation of population, and that's Saguache. Okay. And if I was to say these pennies
Saguache?
are Saguache, yeah. And if these pennies
Saguache.
Saguache, thank you. Thank you. We'll go with that one. And so as far as it goes, if my pennies were pinched, now I was going to say, where would I do what if I had to choose one county to do a mailer to try to maximize something out of what I'm pulling in? That would be the county that I would go to, because you in 2018 you had 48 registered there, and then went up to 61, 22, and now you're down to 54. But that's nothing compared to like Rio Grande was at 39, then 60, 63, then down to 41, which has been a big collapse as well. So I think that if I was to narrow it down and say on top of the radio ads, if you had to say, what's the place that you could help grow the Libertarian, the party best in the Valley, and use it as a point to start pushing out and seeing what could be done? And I think that would be Saguache, as you said, or Saguache, or whatever the gringo going to say here. So I think that's what I would potentially focus on there. And the collapse hasn't been as bad in the gubernatorial returns either. Like there was a total collapse you had in Alamosa, 2014, 1.84. Helker went to 3.05, then down to 0.9. Okay. Saguache, on the other hand, 2.81 to 3.48, which was really nice in 2018. Helker did a good job. And then 1.41 was all that it went down there at the bottom. So it's holding above the floor of the rest of the valley there. And it's definitely, if there was one county that I would say I think that we could work jointly to see what we could do with that, I think that would be the focus if my pennies are pinched.
But you don't have really many funds right now. That's the
No,
issue.
no, yeah. Right now, I'm trying to drum up enough to finish off this radio ad push, and I want to see how much more traffic we get to our website and stuff like that too. And I'll share that with you guys, of course. I want to see just as much with some focus put into this and a few dollars, not throwing so much pasta at the wall, but I want to see what are these if these targeted darts stick.
So Matt, I just Keith, I just one general question.
Yeah.
You've been on here a couple of times, and I appreciate you. I mean, you got your numbers down and stuff. But why hasn't Eric approached the board yet?
But
Where's our candidate?
I'm handling his stuff, and this is pretty
Okay.
common more for the
Okay.
guy,
All
for
right.
the campaign manager to
Okay,
come
just
to.
curious. Any other board members have? Joe, you have any more questions, or anybody else have questions?
Well, with all due respect, Matt, you didn't actually answer that question.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
what was
Stage
the,
one,
what was the dollar
English.
amount?
So stage one English radio around $1,000. I'm gonna do I want to try to do a Spanish language campaign for about $500. Okay, and then after that, if the pennies are just, if nothing's coming in, I'll probably maybe re-up on seeing if either one of those drew us in anything, and otherwise another dart. But if the money continues to roll in, then we're going to be going to that mailer campaign. And as I said, I think we could narrow it down to that one county if we have to. But otherwise, the more money comes in, let's expand it out, let's grow it, let's reach more people. And then after that point in time, it's going to have to be the last place is going to be, I think, streaming ads could be interesting. But producing a video itself has a cost, and then you have to get the cost going of putting up the on the various sites. And that's why I think it could be a really good marketing tool if done correctly. But I think you could be way more effective just knowing what has to be done, and the basics of the radio, the every door mailer. And on top of that, I'm sorry, I also want to I am in discussions with the Alamosa paper, and I need to get Monte Vista too if they accept op-eds and what their rates for advertisements are too. Those are historical, over 100 years existing papers. They're pretty interesting. Was that better for you, Joe? Did that give you a little bit more info?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I go off of my things. You understand me. We're both ADD.
Yeah.
Okay, any other board members have questions? Hearing none.
May I make
Yeah.
just a final pitch, and
Sure.
I'll keep
Yeah.
it short and sweet.
Yep. Go ahead, Matt.
Again, guys, don't think of this as just giving money to the campaign. Think of this as putting us over the top in being able to try this radio campaign, get things going, see how much likes improve on Facebook, see what the traffic improves on the site, see if we get donations, asked for interviews and things. That's all we can do. And I've been around this party for a little bit, and I know you've said that people have tried campaigns before. I told Arvin Vora about it, and he acted like I invented fire. So I don't know necessarily how that has gone. But I think what we have here is a really dedicated campaign with the Vermilion campaign going on simultaneously. We could do some good stuff. And what I want to see, the numbers are clear. Like you guys have definitely been bleeding voters, and that's not just in the Valley. And I want to see if targeted messaging can stop that bleeding, grow your voter base down there, and help you to design to build affiliates. You say you have nobody down there right now, and I say, let's see if we can find them. And I'd like to think this campaign could do it. And if you guys can't do a large number of four figures, even if you were to invest $250 in this campaign, that would put us over the top for the radio ads, and I'd greatly appreciate that. And then I know social media is tough for you guys right now, but we could work on promoting the campaigns and the way the Colorado laws work, and with being able, you guys giving money to your gubernatorial candidates, which is a huge number. We can maybe work on a 50-50 campaign that goes through the state party and promote that together to try to backfill some of that money. I'm open to ideas, and I think we should try to get clever.
So, Joe Johnson here. So, Matt, you weren't privy to the dialogues that I was having with the board through our board channel.
I feel very left out, Joe.
We decided very early on, due to our lack of funds, that we were not donating to campaigns simply because of the fact we don't have enough money to be donating to all the worthy campaigns. However, this option here excites me at the idea of us trying to grow a party in a select spot. But like Keith, I'm concerned about the lack of fundraising thus far with Eric's campaign as to whether we would be throwing money into a well. So with that said, while I like the idea, I would be all in with whatever we can do to try to get as many ads in that select space. Again, not that look, I'm donating to Eric's campaign, but there's a separate thing that's out of my pocket. For this,
Mhm.
it's about trying to grow the LPCO and finding out the best way to do that. And since you guys are looking to do this anyway, partnering with you, I would be more comfortable giving a larger number if you guys had already raised money. But since you haven't, my thought is that maybe we start out a little smaller and then see if you guys can grow to make your dream of all of these things that you want to do actually happen. Then maybe come back and we put a larger sum into this. So because of that, I'm going to make a motion and see what the rest of the board thinks. I make a motion that we commit $500
Oh, thank you.
towards advertising. I really want to see us do both the English and the Spanish because we have simply not done Spanish. And as long as I've been with the party, and in a
Yep.
state that has that many Spanish speakers, we are simply leaving them behind. So my motion is that we spend $500, and I'm not sure the details on how this would work since it's not going directly to the campaign. Do we pay, do if the board agrees and we decide to move that direction, do we spend that, you line the stuff up and we send the check to the radio station or what have you? So I'm not sure how that would play out, but my motion is that we commit $500 to advertising in parallel or in unison with what's happening with your campaign for advertising in that area.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a
John
second.
Jersman.
Thanks, John. Discussion among board.
I guess I guess raise my objection. I love the idea, but there are just too many buts. No boots on the ground. It is speculative, and we don't have speculation money. And it's late. It's late in the campaign. The first phase of the campaign should be the identification phase, the ID phase, get the name out there. And that should have happened months ago. So I would suggest that we make some kind of strategy going forward for 2028, get in there early and get things going, I guess, at an earlier time. So in 2028, we can, hit the ground running.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. I like to add a little, is Keith here. Yeah, I'm just a little bit farther west in Montrose County, and this year we got half our irrigation water. So it means about 40% of the fields are fallow this year. And now there's hay doubled in price, I think. So people are either shipping cattle east to the plain states or they're selling their cattle. So the egg business has no money, which is going to reflect fundraising efforts. And the San Luis Valley can't be too much different. I haven't been there to know what their water resources have been this summer, and next year's going to be no different. The way things look, at least in the Blue Mesa Reservoir. I don't know about San Luis Valley, but I sort of agree with Doug. What concerns me is that even if we do get some people, we don't have really somebody that can coordinate starting a county party. That'd be our goal, is to get a group and get a candidate running in the San Luis Valley. And we don't have somebody there that's an activist. And so I think if we're going to do this, we could do it, anytime, whether it's in 27, 28, but do it somewhere where we have some people that can carry this on, because you have to do it continuously. And running ads for a few weeks, you're going to get an extra 0.5% or 1% vote for, like, probably 0.5%. So I think it's I like the idea overall. I like you guys analyzing stuff because this is what I want our candidates to do is analyze. Okay, look at counties and demographics and say, okay, here's some of these radio ads I mentioned in our training. The first training, sometimes they're pretty inexpensive to get outside the metro areas, and then people listen to those radio stations. So, but yeah, I'm unfortunately, I think our as a board, yeah, I'm a no vote, but I like the ideas. Any other discussion from anybody?
Yeah,
Just
John.
I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
Well, I think that it's worth pursuing, uh, to get Eric in the debates, whether whether ag should be the primary focus or solar power, or whatever, or wind. Yeah, so I think we should help them a little bit at least. And I'm planning to send a personal donation as well.
Thank you, John.
Yeah,
Joe,
my
go
one
ahead,
last
Joe.
comment, just so that everybody understands where I'm coming from this. My thought is I just want to I want to hear the word libertarian coming across the airwaves and see how much we get from that. Again, not so much the vote percentage, love to see the vote percentage go up, but I want to see what that does to the number of registered libertarians and dues paying libertarians. And as I said, if you guys had raised more money to this point where you're ready to really fully take advantage of this, I'd be prepared to make a motion for a larger sum. But since we haven't, my thought is that's the reason why I'm saying $500. If you guys raise more and you guys are really taking off and this thing's really going to grow and we can really get a whole lot more advertising out there, come back, I'd be willing to make another donation. But from my point is I'd like to see if we can't make the needle move over the course of the quarter or the year next year, the way running full slates of candidates always has traditionally. So again, from my perspective is I want to see us grow the party, and I see this as an opportunity for us to pair up with somebody else who's already moving forward with buying these ads. I kind of look at it as us getting this deal as a discount since your campaign is planning on doing that, provided you can raise the funds. So I'm comfortable with a $500 commitment, and that's why my motion. So,
Good. All right. So, any other discussion from anybody? So I'll paraphrase I think Joe, you sort of asked the question. I think it'd be cleaner if the party gave the money directly to the Mulder campaign. So
okay, yeah, whatever's easiest.
Your motion is to give $500 towards advertising to the Mulder campaign. And so
yeah, because I want to make sure it's earmarked. If it's going to the Mulder campaign, I want to make sure that advertising happens.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So that's the motion. Any objections to that? Well, I'm going to object. So we're going to do a roll call vote. So secretary?
Okay. Keith Labby,
No.
Doug Jones,
No.
I'm a no. Joe Johnson,
Yes.
Jeff Orrick,
Yes.
John Jersman.
Yes.
It doesn't pass. There's no majority vote there.
Where's Jacob? Jesus
All right.
Christ.
So it's a 3-3.
He's not here. He's not here. And when I hang up, you guys are going to lose quorum. So,
Yep.
I'm
All right,
sorry,
so-
Matt.
Okay.
Yeah, but keep in touch, Matt. So that was our business item for tonight. I moved that a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
I don't know if we have to move when there's no business, but okay.
I
So
don't
moved.
know. It's just my thing. Okay,
Okay,
so
so
we're,
moved.
we're adjourned. It's 6:34.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
All right, good night.